Here, oops. Looks good. Hello, everybody. This is Purge, bringing you guys Navi versus mouz for GosuLeague Division 1. Both of these teams, especially Navi, has been doing fantastic in the league. The first round of banning is already through, as we're just catching up to this. We see a Magnus as well as a Wisp ban out of Navi, and then finally Undying with the Templar Assassin ban from mouz. First pick is going to be a Batrider. Now, I'm going to go check out the standings quick. I'm going to go to play.gosugamers.net. I would throw this full screen, but I don't want to block the picking for you guys here, so I'll do that really quickly here as we load on in. There it is. And Division 1. Just got to click through a couple things here, and then we can take a look at this. Looks like the pick are Bounty Hunter Jakiro out of Navi. The Division 1 is what we're going to be watching. Faces Void, really fast pickup by mouz here in the first round. Very surprising. Not even a Sven in the pool. Maybe they're expecting Navi to draft one, but regardless, there it is. Faces Void. Faces Voids are hard carry no matter what. I don't think Navi, I don't know if they were planning to pick a Sven, but even if they do now, Faces Void is arguably the counter to that. So let's check the standings here. Navi has now officially played 3 matches. They are at, I don't know if this is accurately updated because they just played a match yesterday. I could have swore they were doing better than this, but shows them with 2 wins as well as 1 draw at a total of 5 points here. mouz is towards the bottom with 1 draw, 1 win, and 1 loss. They're sitting at 3 points. So of the 3 matches, Navi's 2 points ahead of them actually. So Navi with a pretty solid advantage here in Division 1 at the moment. And they won a 2-0 yesterday against Kaipi, I believe, and we'll see how they can do today. But Navi, obviously one of the best teams in the league, if not the best. Empire's also performing very well lately. And hopefully things turn out for them. Enigma's the next pickup by Navi. That is going to be their 3rd pick of the first round. Second round banning, we're going to see a Luna first, a Rubik after that out of Navi. mouz is looking for support heroes. They have a mid, they have a long lane, they have a carry, so that means they need a support and a jungler. So we'll mostly see support jungler bans out of Navi. Brewmaster is the next ban out of mouz. Don't want Navi to use any of that team fight. I haven't actually seen them use a Brewmaster in a while, actually. I don't think I've seen Navi draft that here in quite a long time, but very good against Faces Void. If you think about it, you can throw him up in the air, use the Cyclone, you can throw a Batrider up the air, throw a Cyclone on him. Sven is still the pick. What? I am. Alright, I'll talk about that in a second. Brewmaster ban, Broodmother ban, Chen ban, and Enchantress ban. So Navi basically screws over all possible jungling heroes out of mouz, unless they do something really wacky. Really weird to see both Sven and Faces Void on the same team. I was not expecting to see this. If we saw Sven, I was expecting it to maybe be on Navi's lineup. But it's actually on mouz's lineup. Now this pretty much means, unless they do a jungling Darkseer or Batrider, that they will have to 100% support on a Sven. I'm expecting this is what we're going to see. Now, this is not at all how we've been seeing Sven being played lately. Almost always Sven is being played as a carry, but this game we are going to see him, I think, as a support, and that's what it looks like. Sven and Leshrac playing support roles. Now, those 2 heroes together do play a nice role. Sven has a reliable disable the last 2 seconds. Leshrac can follow this up with his stun. So that is the general idea. Sven, Leshrac supporting a Faces Void. A lot of stuns coming out from them. Warcry is also very good. Even in a support role, I could see that being quite useful because it gives your team like 18 armor or something like that. Excuse me, just 16. Just 16 armor for 8 seconds and 12% movement speed bonus, which is pretty good considering. So that'll be interesting to see if this is what he ends up going for. I'm guessing it'll be stun with Warcry, maybe with some stat levels in there, and he might just forego Great Cleave at all while still getting his ulti, because if he's playing a support role, I'm not expecting to see him aiming for big AoE damage like we normally see out of Sven's lately. So support Sven is what they're doing. Navi ends up countering with a Lifestealer. That was what they picked in regards, or after the Faces Void Sven picks. The nice thing about Lifestealer versus Sven is that Sven is a physical damage carry who generally has a lot of HP, so Feast ends up doing a lot. Feast here, the second skill on Lifestealer, ends up adding damage and stealing HP and then regenerating that equivalent amount based on a percentage of their HP. So if they have a lot of HP, it does more damage and life steals more. Very good skill for Lifestealer. Very good against tanky heroes. Not the best against Faces Void for a couple reasons. Faces Void bashes, which means that he can stun no matter what. It doesn't matter if you're raged. And also, he doesn't have a whole lot of HP since he is an agility hero. So since Faces Void is an agility hero, he isn't going to be as... he isn't going to have as much HP. Plus, he can also throw down a Chronosphere. If he throws down the Chronosphere, then bam, throws down the Chrono. Lifestealer is going to be trapped in that. He's a melee hero. If he can't kill anybody that's in the Chronosphere, basically, because he's going to be disabled himself. So that's going to be rough for Lifestealer. Navi's waiting for the last pick. They're down to 18 seconds, and their last pick is going to be a Gyrocopter this game. So I'm guessing we're going to see a Gyrocopter mid, possibly. Gives him a lot of really good AoE. And that's going to be the draft. So I'm going to switch over my overlay. I promise I will forget it at least once today. I'm going to let you guys down if I don't forget it. But interesting draft. Navi is a pretty good team fight. I like the Jakiro. Very, very good with Chronosphere, actually. So if Faces Void ever accidentally Chronospheres one of his allies without catching the Jakiro, he can throw down a Macropyre or a Dual Breath on a lot of people. Puppy's playing Enigma. Very, very good Enigma player there. Shoot, you're right. I forgot to turn my mic on in-game. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. Forgot to turn on my mic in-game. Got it fixed now. Hope you guys didn't miss too much commentary here. Let me just write that in chat quick. There we go. Chat is informed. And we're into the game. Let's look up the players really quick. We have Kuroki playing this Sven. We've got Black on Faces Void. Alex playing Leshrac PAS on Darkseer. And Armen going to be playing Batrider, another German player. I believe he plays on Kaipi right now, I think. So who are they missing? Do I know their fifth player? I cannot remember. I can't remember who their fifth German player is, but I love their new icon. Is really cool here. It's a mix between the mouse flag as well as German flag. It's pretty cool. All right, and for the dire side, we have Puppy playing Enigma. We got Light Heaven on the Bounty Hunter. Dendy playing Gyrocopter. This is Havos playing Lifestealer, and finally Cloudy, aka this is probably Arzard. Unfortunately, they're all using a bunch of fake nicks, which is annoying, but they do that sometimes. So that's Team Navi. Navi definitely the higher rated of the two teams. Puppy forgot to buy some regen, actually, so this is not a good situation. A slight mistake from these guys. Somebody didn't buy him a salve, which is a little unexpected. This is because Jakiro purchased a magic stick at start, so he might have a rough time in the long lane. Normally they send him down there with a tango and a salve, whereas this time Jakiro's expecting to dual lane mid with a Lifestealer. We've seen this sometimes. I saw this just the other day, actually just yesterday, I believe. Navi did the same thing. Put a Jakiro plus a farmer on the mid lane versus a Batrider. So in which case, this is why he picked up a magic stick. So he can accumulate these charges and give himself some more mana out of it and help defend that mid lane. So we'll see what they do for their two roaming heroes. They have one smoke, just one smoke. Not too surprising to see a smoke whenever you have this combo together. It is one of the best ganking combos in the game. Whether this is a Sven or Sven with Lina or a Leshrac with Sven. Both work that way. So might be a little tough to kill the lifesteal on the mid lane because he can rage. His first skill makes him magic immune if he does have it up, but we'll see. Denny going to be soloing safe lane, going for a fast Basilius, possibly an Aquila, and we'll see where he turns out for his item build. But versus a Darkseer, he can do a decent job here. A little bit of harass on the bot lane. Black looking like he might end up solo down here. I think it's going to be a tri-lane, though, most likely. Bounty Hunter doing the long lane. These guys, do they have a Sentry Ward? They do have Sentry Wards, so they may shift back down to the bot lane to give a tri-lane to Mouse and give him a nice advantage there. So, yes, my overlays are correct. Double damage picked up by Kuroki. Actually, not the range here. A little surprised about that one, but look at this. Jakiro already spotting them out. They see them, and now they're not going to be able to get any farm for a bit. Unless, of course, Lifestealer picks up a rage at level 1, which I don't think he really wants to do. So they're just going to run past the mid lane. They're not actually going to get caught here, but they're just kind of doing this to contest farm a bit. And are they going to tri-lane this is the question. I believe they're going to shift down, most likely. I guess Leshrac is going to stay here. The downside is he should really give the Sentry Wards to Kuroki because they're going to need that on the bot lane. Give him the sentries. I mean, sure, they can sit mid, but unless they can land a stun. Here comes the first stun. It's going to catch him, actually. Going to see a follow-up as well. Hits Havos. Great Ice Path. Bind him a second, but the DD, it's going to be too much. He gets killed. Havos on the mid lane goes down. Oh my gosh. Not a good situation to be in there. Wow. That was a big mistake there on the mid lane. He did not need to get caught there. Did he pick up Rage? He did pick up Rage, but he was a second too late. What he probably did was he waited to skill, and by the time the stun came, he didn't skill the point fast enough. I'm guessing that was the case. So they pick up the first blood on the mid lane. That's the hard carry for Navi, one of the two, of course. Not a good situation. In the meantime, by the way, Dendy getting free farm on the top lane. Who is supposed to be here? It's PAS. He actually has farmed the small camp to pick up some EXP. He's going to take out this large camp and then probably shift over and take the small again before he shifts top. The reason we see this sometimes is because as a long lane solo, usually you're contested by support heroes. The reality is that the support is mid, just mid actually. Light of Heaven might be getting ganked. This could be bad for him. Here comes the Sentry. There's Warcry. Sentry put down. There's the first stun. Here comes the second stun. Follow up. Can they get the bash? They need a bash to get the kill on him. He might be able to run away. There's a nice time walk. It is going to be enough. Just barely in 2 kills right off the bat for Mouz. Very, very good for them. Starting off 2-0 versus Navi, not something we expected to see, but definitely a good situation for them. 2 stacks of napalm at the moment. Keep in mind, Lifestealer can just remove the napalm by popping Rage. So if he ever does get dived on, it won't be that big of a deal. Solid ganks so far this game. Nice, he did end up disabling the Clarity Potion on Kuroki there. Very important because Sven is very mana starved, and as you can see, he's about 35 seconds or so away from getting another Stormhammer, so he literally can't do anything for a little bit here. Alex sitting in the river, level 2, is going Lightning as well as Split Earth. I kind of wish he had Edict instead, because this ganking style would allow them to get kills and then take towers afterwards, but at least later on in the game, maybe not so much early on. On the top lane, Dendy up to 17 last hits, crazy amounts of denies. He's just kind of lane controlling this, but he's going to be a pretty strong presence in the mid game. I expect to see him go the typical build, something like a phase with a drum of endurance. Those 2 items gives you a lot of movement speed and allows you to have great positioning in the mid game. Enough HP to be survivable with decent mana pool as well. So Light of Heaven still playing it pretty safe here versus the tri-lane. Black is up to 16 last hits. He's not quite beating Dendy. Dendy doing slightly better here. But that's what happens when you end up coming for a gank. You're not 100% farming. You're going to miss a couple last hits. But with a poor man shield as well as a Quelling Blade, he's probably not going to miss a whole lot of last hits for the rest of this game. Especially on Black. Great farmer, that guy. So Boots picked up now on Lifestealer. Missing some last hits. 10 charge stack on Jakira actually could actually come forward and do a dual breath on the Byrider. He's got to be a little careful because he would have to worry about getting killed while doing this harass. And here comes the dual breath. He's going to miss it actually. So we'll see if he pops the wand, but all he has to do is avoid some of that damage. Arm run's going to be all okay here. Bunch of stacks on the lifesteal, but once again, very hard to kill this guy. Unlikely to happen. Puppy's just farming at the moment. Keep in mind, this is going to give Navi a gold advantage. Despite the 2 kills happening, this is with 2 kills, and they're coming back up, and that's because Navi is farming 1 guy in the jungle while still farming 3 lanes. And now this is, in a way, slightly counteracted by the fact that there's pulling from mouz, as well as the Darkseer, wherever the heck that guy is, apparently went back to base to pick up Soaring. He's literally just leaving the long lane solo, so Darkseer not even sitting top, he's literally just jungling. Level 4 now, he's got 21 last hits, 0 chance of dying. Does have to be slightly threatened about dying to a gyrocopter, I think, because Rocket Barrage is so good. By the way, Dendy has not put a single skill point into his hero yet, which is pretty hilarious. Here comes the 1 hit on our man. Gonna see a dual breath. Here comes the Ice Path. Nope, no Ice Path just yet. He was thinking about Flame Break, but he had to cancel his animation. But seriously, 5 skill points. Dendy's style in this game. I mean, he's not versus anyone. And this is maybe a little weird that he hasn't done this, but if you think about it this way, Gyro's skill build is pretty fluid. It can go a lot of different ways. If somebody was in lane, maybe he'd want to use Homing Missile for harass, maybe Rocket Barrage. Maybe he wants to not put his skill points in. Maybe he wants to go on Flat Cannon later. Something like that is definitely a possibility. So there's the GPMs. As you can see, Dendy and Black are neck and neck. Pretty much just lasting in lane at the moment, so not really too surprised to see this. 3 levels of time lock actually on Face's Void. This is going to give him a really good mid-game in terms of damage potential. He doesn't have to worry about dying versus a bounty hunter. It's not like there's a whole lot of harass coming in from a melee hero, so 1 levels of backtrack is going to be plenty. Time walk is sometimes nice to have more levels. Armand taking some damage. Maybe we're going to see 1 Ice Path. Actually, he does end up going Rage, but perfect timing for them. Oh man, right on top of the Jagira. He's in a lot of trouble. Lightning as well. 2 levels, and he will die. Kuroki getting the last hit here. And they get a kill. Perfect time for mouz there for Navi to go aggressive. So Navi goes aggressive. Jakiro gets jumped on due to the Sven, and the Leshrac helps as well. 2 levels of lightning now. So a lot of single target damage actually from range. Kuroki picking up an urn. Very good roaming item. And it also benefits him some mana regen. Very good for that as well. Now Sven's int isn't very high, so it doesn't give him that much, but it's generally pretty strong. And they're putting some skill points in. 3 levels in Flat Cannon, 1 homing missile, picks up his ulti, and has 1 other skill point, I believe, that he has not quite leveled yet. But he's probably just waiting to see. Rocket Barrage, very good skill, but obviously doesn't really need it against a wave push. The best pushing skill that he has is Flat Cannon by far. So, we'll see if Kuroki as well as Alex do some more roaming. He does have boots on the shop, that is. Basilius is on, of course. They're pushing the tower. He actually goes for treads instead, not going for phase boots. This gives him some really nice attack speed. I personally like flat cannon a bit, or I'm sorry, phase boots a little bit more with flat cannon, just because it allows you to do a lot more damage per hit. But he can dish out the payload a little quicker as well. So kind of the similar situation as Templar Assassin in some ways, if you think about it. So now we have a Treads 1 on Lifesteal. He's level 5. Versus a 6 Batrider with the double damage. Kuroki's and Alex are both still waiting in the river here. This is their ward actually, so they will not be caught here. Dire team doesn't have any wards up at the moment. Jakiro doesn't have enough for wards. I don't know if they're gonna have somebody pick them up. And Havos, in the meantime, goes into the jungle because he's a little worried about last sitting there. The wave is a little bit on the high ground. Batrider could easily lasso him back to the tower, and if that happened, there would be follow-up from other heroes. So it makes a lot of sense that he's just playing it safe here. They're going to get solo EXP to Jakiro, which is not bad for him. He really wants EXP more than gold anyways. And in the meantime, Enigma is still pushing a bit on the top lane, going for a mech first. And then he will push this lane out a bit. Missing a couple last hits there, but not the end of the world. So they push in once again. 48 last hits, 22 assists. Somebody teleporting up. This is going to be Darkseer, now level 6, and he's going to Surge 4. Has a lot of farm, and he is definitely going to be able to hold this wave. Now, the downside is actually the tower will go down very shortly. Can he deny is the question. He does not get an Enigma with the last hit. Then he will not shoot a rocket. He's actually taking a lot of Ion Shell damage here. Doesn't have any personal regen to himself, but he will be just fine. 1,300 gold up on him now. Light of Heaven still defending his tower as well. Goes for Tranquil Boots, actually. Now, the reason he goes Tranquil first is because he plans to make a fast Vlad. Like, literally every game I've seen Light of Heaven play in a while, he goes for it. Chronosphere is actually going to barely catch him. He is going to be invisible here, but do they have a sentry is the question. I think they do. They heard the sentry going down. There's the stun. Great kill. That was super high skilled. Great play by mouz there. The intricacies of that were massive. As soon as Bounty Hunter goes invis, they had no idea where he was, but the Chronosphere reveals invis, so he skill shot at the Chronosphere, had the vision. We saw the split earth immediately after the invis ended, and then the sentry ward was placed down, and they got the Sven stun to follow up. So that was very, very well done. 2 deaths now in Light of Heaven. Anyways, the reason he gets Tranquil Boots is because you can disassemble this later, if you show this in the shop here. These 2 items are both used in a Vlad, so he grabs this for the early regen. He can be more survivable in his lane, and end up staying within EXP range a bit longer. So, very good for him. Then he's still pretty low on HP here. Enigma really wants to make a play. He's got 3 levels in Malefice. He's got Black Hole as well. But will Darkseer come up to the wave is the question. Puppy's looking for it. Not going to get it. There's a Surge, and he's going to be absolutely fine. Didn't see a missile out of Dendi. 3 levels of missile, actually. Keep in mind, Homing Missile has been buffed recently. A lot of players don't actually put a lot of skill points into this currently, but I think it does have some uses. He's going to teleport back to his base because he does not want to get ganked, and he is going Shadow Blade. That's what we're going to see. Shadow Blade Gyrocopter, pretty cool build. This does not do the Shadow Blade bonus damage. I assume this is Shadow Blade, by the way. Yeah, it's going to be Shadow Blade. It does not do the bonus damage, that 175 bonus damage. What is it up to now? Just 150, excuse me. It does not do the 150 bonus damage with Flat Cannon to everybody, just the primary target. That's it. But it's still a very good item. Makes Gyrocopter very mobile and help more survivable, things like that. Very good stuff. He's actually going to try to gank Face's Void. Another thing is that Homing Missile is being buffed and buffed. Does more damage at range and stuns for up to 2.8 seconds for an 11-second cooldown. Now, it's usually pretty tough to use. Like, it's hard to use during a team fight, but he's going to find something in the jungle to me. Face's Void. Here comes the first attacks. He does not have a Rocket Barrage, but he's just right-clicking right now, and the missile is chasing 2 levels of Time Walk, and they're going to give up on this. But he is going to get hit by it for big damage. 247 damage to the Face's Void now. He's got no regen. He has a Hand of Midas, by the way. GPM is the highest for Black, but that's because he spent money on that Midas. Kuroki in so much trouble. Easiest kill ever. Dendi actually gets the kill on that one. Started off the missile and track gold on that as well, so Kuro gets killed. No Observer Wards from the Radiant team, just a Dire Ward. And a Lane Ward might have been a really good idea, especially because you probably were expecting to see Face's Void get ganked here in the mid game. But yeah, no wards for them, and they lose the hero to it. Black has to go back to base to heal, and the other heroes get in a lot of trouble. So bot tower now in trouble. It's going to be the second tower push this game. Level 5 on Jakiro, and Light of Heaven is looking for kills, so he's going to go look around over here. Dendi, of course, doing some nice... Enigma takes the next tower again. Some Eidolon's picking that up. 900 gold on him, 61 last hits. So pretty good GPM on 3 of Navi's heroes. Even Lifestealer's doing well despite him getting killed first. He's going to rage back from the mid lane again. Once again, getting chased and ganked mid. But showing the power of rage. I mean, it's not a blink, but you can go Magic Immune. That's the cool part about it. And an interesting skill build, but a little bit of everything is what he gets out of this. The reason you really max out open wounds is get the cooldown reduced, and feast levels are very good for damage, and lifesteal and rage, obviously the duration is very, very good. He's going Armlet first, which will give him some nice damage output. Tier 2 tower now dying. Black is down here. He could Chronosphere this. He's got a Hand of Midas in 6. They are pretty grouped up. His Time Walk range is okay. Here comes the Ion Shell. He's thinking about it, but he's really worried. Here comes the Time Walk looking for Chrono. Only catches Dendi as well as Claudia. We're going to see a Malefice at least. Great vacuum, actually. He's going to set this up. Dendi's going to get killed really quickly here. Puppy might be next. He's taking a bunch of damage. He will go down. Great fight so far. And that's the power of vacuum. Enigma was about to stun Black on the Face's Void, but he stopped it. Light of Heaven still tracking stuff, trying to save Arzart. He looks pretty dead, though. There's the Ice Path. Easy kill. 3 dead there. It's the power of Face's Void. Chronosphere, really good skill. He even used his Hand of Midas during the fight, so... And now teleporting to the top lane to get some more free farm. Him versus a Faces Void is a pretty good situation. I think he can block a lot of the damage, at least with the Poor Man's Shield, and dish it out with some really nice attack speed, so... Doesn't have any regen, that's the only downside. Light Heaven's still farming the jungle, but the Radiant Team Mouse is going to push down the tier 1 tower possibly in a second. We do have one level of Edict on Leshrac. I still like this skill build, I think it's pretty cool. Enough stun, not the best stun, the AoE is decent, but more importantly, the ability to push tower and do some range damage. There's the TP actually, Navi wants to defend this, here comes the stun from Alex, it's way too early actually. Havos comes in looking for an open wounds, they have the track, missiles going on Alex. He's looking to be in a lot of trouble. Will they change targets is the question. Alex knows he's pretty much dead. He will go down very fast. Open wounds on Kuro because they want to have the next kill. Light of Heaven needs to get attacked through, but he's so slow. The Surge is going to get him away for a while. There's the Malphite, going to buy him some time. And Surge is all dead, so that's Kuro going down. Next kill, actually PAS going to even see a call down. Nice kill by Dendi there. Homing Missile paying off quite hard. Mana cost has gone up by this, but regardless, he's got a Shadow Blade. His mana pool is still pretty low, but... if you're chasing that long, I mean, you know that they can only run for so long. It is actually a pretty decent skill. 2.8 seconds stun. For long chases, Gyrocopter very, very strong. Especially against evasive Blink heroes or even people that have surges. Really pays off hard. So, Shadow Blade will come back, and there it is, Shadow Blade finished. It's actually a much better item than it was in the past. Does 30 damage and 30 attack speed. More importantly, it's going to help him get into position when the team fight starts at least. We'll see if he goes stats or Rocket Barrage. I think Rocket Barrage is actually pretty usable, but sometimes the problem with Rocket Barrage is you actually get too close to the enemy team rather than just being at a pretty safe range. But he does have the Aegis picked up, a very fast Shadow Blade, and this is going to force Mouse to actually have constant dust as well as Sentry Wards. Now, no death mid. There's a Blink Dagger on Bat Rider. Doesn't get the kill on Jakiro. And on the top lane, Black's still farming. Up to 92 last hits, 1 kill and 4 assists. He's doing quite well here. His net worth is quite a bit higher than everybody else. There's might see a fight mid. Open wounds on Kuro. Taking some right clicks there. We're going to see a Malefice as well. He's getting really low missiles coming through in just a second. Here comes Black Hole's going to catch a lot of heroes. Kuro's actually going to eat the missile and die from this one. Vacuum for a second though, and Dendi's running for his life. Still has Aegis, but there's the call down. Trying to do as much as he can. He does not want to go inside the Chronosphere, but he does end up going through it. Black is going to get picked off by the Flat Cannon. He's going to go down, but that was just Aegis going on PS, but there's the Surge. Not over yet. He's looking for another missile lineup. Will it be a missile kill? Oh, this does not look good. This looks really bad for Armine. All he needs is to start the missile. He goes on PAS instead, actually. Changes his mind on that one. And, oh, great Shuriken toss. We'll see if he can get back to base in time. It's going to be close, actually. Arman's going to kill it, though. Yes, that's going to guarantee that he does not get killed by it. There's another open wounds going on. Kuro uses his ultimate. There's the armlet toggle and a lot of lifesteal. Rocket Barrage is skilled up, and Kuro takes a lot of damage. Shuriken toss with the last hit. And all of a sudden, it was 7-1, and now Navi's sitting at 10-7. Looking great for them. Farmed up a Dendi really, really hard. Light of Heaven has enough farm. And they end up winning a team fight. Black Hole worked out for a while there. There was a vacuum to stop it, but I think the channel was plenty to give them an advantage there. Surge coming forward. Oh, TP canceled. That was actually Bat Rider. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He blinked. Excuse me. Couple right clicks from Havos. So much damage to the Bat Rider, and Dendi actually just cleans this up. Dual Breath on PAS. He's got a Surge. He's going to Surge himself. Great Ice Path. Going to buy him some time. Macro Pyre as well. Puts Alex kind of low. Light of Heaven. Looking for a Shuriken toss. And another Rage actually doing some damage to Black. A lot of damage to Black. So Armlet's helping out a lot. Rage is about to run out, though. Another track. There's the open wounds. Black's in a lot of trouble. He's going to die, actually. He's going to try to get a kill, but it does not happen. Ends up going down. Alex getting outplayed as well. Puppy running for his life. I don't know if he'll survive this Malefice. And 3 Kuros running, but the movement speed is slightly higher on Puppy. 10-12. Navi trading. If they're trading even, this is good, because look at this. Track gold. Track gold abound, 5,000 gold advantage for Navi. EXP is 3,000 in their favor as well, so Navi is winning very, very well this game. Despite that, there is the hardest carry in the game. It's Faces Void. He's on the Radiant team. Looks like he's going for a Battle Fury, picking up a Perseverance first. And of course he has Hand of Midas. He'll be respawning shortly. Even Sven might be able to make some things happen. He is going the War Cry as well as Stun build, though. Very, very strong build. Great against Lifestealer as well. I mean, 16 armor versus that guy is excellent. It's going to reduce the damage from Gyro as well, I think. I don't know if this functions as... I don't know if this functions similar to... I'm sorry, Dendi's going to get jumped on mid. Stun fall up in just a second. There it is. Dendi gets hit. Oh, no. Ulti pop-up, actually. Actually, Shadow Blades. That's why. Goes in biz. Here comes the Sentry, and he's long gone, so... Way gone. Oh, nice Observer Ward. Immediately going to be countered here. One missile. start things off, unless it gets killed by RMN, which is going to be the case. One problem with the missile. What was I talking about? I don't remember. Bo's playing a really aggressive. He's going to Orchid, by the way. Kind of a cool choice. I have seen this before. I think I first saw Kuroki do this actually on his stream. He would go Armlet into Orchid. Now, it's not the best item for Lifestealer in terms of damage, but the nice thing is that it gives you a ton of mana regen. And on top of that, you'll have a silence. That way you can open wounds and silence somebody, and you won't be able to. They won't be able to get away unless like a Force Staff or an allied Surge or something like that. So you can use this to kill heroes like Darkseer if he gets out of position. Things like that. Gonna be very strong. Hero levels are looking pretty good. Net worth is actually in the Dire team's favor now, despite because of Faces Void dying twice now. He's getting behind. Still has Hand of Midas, but way behind. Oh, Dendi is so dead. There's the earn kill, and they're gonna get him. I don't know why Dendi was mid, but trying to do fancy things, and they just killed him. That's what happens when you buy Shadowblade and you play overly aggressive. And there it is, this symbol into Vlad's offering. 5 armor for everybody on his team. Pretty good damage as well. And Tower's going to go out on another tower kill for Enigma. That's the third, by the way. They did definitely smoke under creeps. Keep that in mind. I think they were a little worried about either getting routed or getting to the mid lane in time. So they want the extra 20% movement speed that they get from it. I think it's 15, excuse me. Bounty Hunter coming from, I'm sorry, this is a Vos coming from the opposite side. They're doing damage to the tower. He's going to open up on people. He doesn't care because he's magic immune. And there it is. There's the roar. Ice Path's going to whiff, actually, but Alex is still going to go down very, very easily. Follow up on PAS shortly. 12 seconds. Here comes the dual breath. Not going to catch. There's the black hole. That's going to stop him. He is pretty much guaranteed to die. Ice Path follow up and a nice kill from Navi. 12 to 13 now. They did lose Navi recently mid, but who even cares? Dendi going invis on the top lane. Picks up a Ghost Scepter. A lot of physical damage heroes on the Radiant team. Pretty cool reason to grab this item. There's the initiation. He cannot use Ghost Scepter. There's the Urn. Gonna see a stun fall up. Stun follow up on top of him, and I think he is gonna die. He uses Ghost Scepter, but the Urn is still gonna get the kill, I think. Yes, barely killed. Very, very close. He almost survived that one. Unfortunately for him, he didn't pop the Ghost Scepter quite fast enough, so Chronosphere was able to catch him with his pants down. Did they kill a tower for that one? They did. So what Dendi is basically pointing out is that, congratulations, you killed me. But look what my team just did. They took a tower. Yeah, Dendi is totally, he's totally willing to make that trade. He's like, I'll go ahead, you can kill me. I don't care. I will take your towers. We'll take your towers and then get a huge advantage. That's basically what they're excited about. They're totally cool with it. Orchid's finished on Lifestealer now. So it's an Orchid Armlet. Armen going to the top lane. Looks like he's going Force Staff. He might be able to grab Light of Heaven, but he's got no allies here, and I don't see any TPs coming. So I don't think him being able to grab that is going to be possible. 900 gold in the bank for Gyrocopter. Has gotten ganked. Has died quite a few times now, 4 deaths. And Hand of Midas is going to be saved for the neutrals, most likely. And here comes. Goodbye, little ogre. Good old gold animation. It's all fresh and new and beautiful and stuff. GPM actually highs for Lifestealer. This is pretty surprising to me because he doesn't have a Hand of Midas himself, actually. He's going to find black. Here's the silence first. Here comes Open Wounds pressing all of his hotkeys. Armlet's on. I don't know if he's going to get this kill, though. Silence about to run out. And a last backtrack, so he will survive this. Slight mistake from him. He probably needed to Open Wounds a little quicker. He hesitated a bit. He actually raged even before he did the other things, which is a mistake. He didn't need to rage at all because black couldn't cast a single thing while he was silenced, so black can be completely fine. But on the bright side for Na'Vi, they're getting more map control. They're taking out the Radiant jungle. All of these camps now belong to Na'Vi, which means that Na'Vi gets to farm all of their jungle, and they get to farm this part of the map as well. So, big gold advantage is going to Na'Vi right now, I'm sure. And things are actually leveling off a bit, surprisingly, but they do have better map control. It's a Dire Sentry. Sorry, a Radiant Sentry. They don't have enough time for this. They're going to miss it. Unless they can kill us in 13 seconds, we'll see. Dendi's looking to defend it. Missile going to start off on black, and he's going to have to walk away from this one. Battle Fury is finished, though, so he's going to be able to do really good AoE damage during the Chronosphere. More importantly is actually his farm ability, but it is going to be a component of it. I think the Missile actually just scouted out some of these support heroes, so I think they're going to... That's why Dendi is running away. Run for your life. Force Staff, first item for Jakiro with a Arcane Boots. You can't use this to get people out of Chronosphere. You used to be able to do that, but it was a little too good, so they removed that option. And Lifestealer's still farming, so might see an engagement mid, though. Mouz is grouping up. Looking for another missile. It's going to hit black again. Looking for the blink, actually. Is he going to use the Midas? No, actually, they're just going to kill the rocket once again. They're going. Actually, they grab Pavosi. He has not used Rage yet, so he's taking full damage. Here comes the stun follow-up. He's in a lot of trouble, actually. Even a Rage going down. Chronosphere is going to catch him right on the edge, but unfortunately, grabbing Kuroki as well. Black Hole's only going to catch one. Only one. Kuro, there's the vacuum. Going in. They're all so low. Denny's trying to get kills, but he's also so low. Using Lothar's going after Black. Here comes the missile. It's going to catch him. Gets backtracked, though. Needs 2 hits. Lightning gets him killed. He uses the Ghost Scepter trying to stay alive, but the Lightning gets him. And Black's still not dead. PAS being chased. That was a buyback from Havost, I believe. PAS goes down. Not done yet. RMN taking big damage from Lifestealer. Puppy dueling with Alex. There's some chasing going on. Light of Heaven gets killed. Black's still alive. How many times did he almost die this game? Ice Path being juked, and Black goes back to base. Feeling good about this team fight. Still not looking the best for his team, but him not dying, way good. Was there buyback is the question. Lifestealer killed 2. I don't know. Let's check. Buyback status. He did buy back. He did buy back. Died at the start of the fight. Came back. Did a good job. Got at least 2 kills out of it. EXP out of that. Going to be worth it for his buyback. Black kills Bounty Hunter. He did not die. That's the important part. We saw Dendy go down as well. So that was a relatively good trade for Mouse. They maybe still didn't make out because of track hold. And as you can see, the graph's still going down here. But that went a lot better than I thought it was going to. Considering how many times Black was close to dying. That was pretty impressive. Got the backtracks that he needed, so. Dandy's swinging to the jungle to farm now. Is maxing out Rocket Barrage. His HP is still a little squishy, actually. And we did see the Ghost Scepter increase the damage that he took. The Lightning just completely killed him. He was a little more worried about the Faceless Void, but regardless, I think he would have died, whether or not he had the Ghost Scepter on, so. Not a whole lot surprised here. Radiant Team actually has no vision of the dire area. If we take a look at their vision here, they have no idea that Navi is here. Well, it looks like they have an idea. There's the smoke, 5-man smoke. They're coming in. Missile's going to hit Roshan. Great way to stun him. Actually, 2.8 seconds. Might they catch Puppy? Puppy has no black hole. There's the Blinken. He's looking for somebody. He's going to grab Pavos. He's got open wounds on him, though. He's in some trouble. And they go in. Puppy taking a lot of damage. But a great... Oh, man. The vacuum. 3 heroes in the group. That AoE damage. Dandy gets killed. Even Roshan disabled. Roshan is 150 HP. And it's going to be snaked by the Radiant Team Mouse. Oh, my gosh. Kuro's going to block this up. And they killed everybody on Navi except for maybe... Jakiro. Jakiro not dying in that team fight. And Black picks up the Aegis of the Immortal. That was the perfect time to show up. A little greedy from Navi there to try to take that. They didn't have Black Hole. Black Hole was used in the previous team fight. They didn't have it there. And they got jumped on. All the core heroes got jumped on too. I mean, Barretter jumped in, pulled Lifestealer to the high ground. And then the other heroes flooded out right into a Chronosphere. Right into a Chronosphere. And when that happens, if 3 heroes are in a Chronosphere for like 5 seconds, that is not a good situation to be in. Even the Battle Fury, of course, doing cleave damage on all 3. It isn't just about farming, it is also about the AoE damage. And we saw it there. Vacuum really helping out that as well. So there's the glyph on the tower, going to buy him some time, but man, it's not looking good for Navi all of a sudden. 21 to 17, look at the jump up. About 2,000 gold. The game is still could go both ways, but once again, Chronosphere, good skill. Lashrak gets the last hit. And Dendy's still farming bot. Is he going to go Ethereal Blade is the question. I think it's a possibility. First of all, it's an agility item. If he's outside of the Chronosphere, he can use this on Black to completely shut down his attacking for a couple seconds. Really, really good combo. It's not the best damage item, though. It's only 40 agility, but something like Butterfly gives 60 damage total. But, I mean, it gives you strength and int on top of that. He needs both of those. And he can actually do a decent nuke with it. You can combo with Missile as well, or Call Down and Missile. I mean, imagine doing a Missile on Face's Void, and then using the Ethereal Blade and the Call Down at the same time. You could really boost your damage impact. I don't think Flat Cannon can hit you then, but, I mean, if he's outside, what better way to stop Face's Void from doing anything for a couple seconds? I don't know if he'll do it. I think it's semi-unlikely, but I think it would be fun to see. More likely, I think, maybe a BKB, possibly Chronosphere goes through that. I'm not sure. We'll see what he goes for this game. I would love to see Ethereal Blade, though. I think that'd be really cool to see. Because it's not like there's that much physical damage. I mean, obviously, the Face of Void can get him, but with Chronosphere up, unless he uses the Ghost Scepter early, it's not really going to do a whole lot. Like that time that he died on the top lane, using it right there would have been super clutch. But now that he's kind of missed some of his opportunities for it to keep him alive, kind of puts him in a weird spot where he doesn't have as much farm as the Face of Void. And he actually goes for a BKB, so excuse that. Don't go Ethereal Blade. Never. Don't do it. There's no point now. Because he's just going to BKB himself, and he's not going to be able to be disabled during the Chronosphere. This guarantees that his damage output is there. It's not going to do as much damage, because the BKB only gives you 34 damage. I'm sorry, excuse me, 24, since he's an Agi hero. But Not nearly as good as a damage item, but he now guarantees that he can do stuff in Chronospheres and doesn't have to worry about getting chain disabled either. So smart choice from him. It's very conservative, but it's a smart choice here. Especially when they're slightly ahead of Navi right now. The gold graph is still there for Navi, but the rolling ball has slightly shifted in Mouse's favor. And if they do make it late game, it's going to be looking good for them. So that's what I'm looking to see here. Light of Heaven Gideon himself, a Yasha actually. He's going for a Manta style. He's going to stack up the Ancient Camps quick. Can farm quite well actually with Treads, Yasha, Vlad's. A lot more attack speed than we normally see out of a Bounty Hunter, so this is more reliance on just kind of overall right-clicking rather than just doing crits occasionally. So it doesn't have as much burst damage, but his damage over time is probably a moderate amount higher. So pretty good for him for that. Danny counter-pushing on the bot lane. They do have a ward up, by the way, so this is going to help keep vision of enemy heroes on the Radiant team. They're going to take a tower, though. Black will be the first. So tier 1 tower for him, and a Mask of Madness pickup. Very smart choice, and this is something you can do when you have a BKB. Normally, I find it, ooh, Danny goes invis just barely. I find it a little iffy sometimes to go Mask of Madness, but when your face is void and you have a Black King bar, essentially the only damage that he can take now when he uses Mask of Madness is physical damage, and if it's inside a Chronosphere, there's no damage he's going to take, unless Flat Cannon. Flat Cannon from Dendy on the outside could hypothetically do a lot of damage, because that goes through BKB, I believe, since it's just a physical attack, but regardless, very, very good damage output from him in team fights now. So Navi's got to be really careful. If they get caught in a black hole, or I'm sorry, in a Chronosphere, it's bad news. But Navi can do the same thing. If we get a good black hole out of Enigma, good things can happen. And look at this. He's finally got BKB. The only thing that can now stop him while he's black holing is either Chronosphere or the Batrider ulti. Those are the only two things. Or Bash, of course. Bash could catch him, but unlikely to happen since black hole are usually pretty close together. There's the smoke. Crow looking to lead the way. He's got a Drum of Endurance. Cool thing. You can use Drum as well as Warcry and give your team like 20% extra movement speed, which is crazy. We actually have Jakir with an Invis rune. Ultimate Orb being purchased from him. Looks like he wants to go for a Sheep Stick possibly. Some damage being done in the jungle actually, and they wanted to catch somebody. It's going to be Puppy. Puppy running for his life. There's the Malphus. Great Malphus here. Going to take a right click. Midnight Pulse as well. Puts Armin actually pretty low. Pretty darn low. Down to 500 HP. Warcry going to give him some movement speed. And Navi might collapse on this. They're looking for opportunities. Lifestealer's going to be the first to catch. There's the silence. Actually, he doesn't open wounds quite yet. Looking for an open wounds. Needs to do it. There it is on Alex. Ghost Step is used at the perfect time. Force Step actually doesn't put him high ground. And there's a Chronosphere on a solo Puppy. Oh, he did use the go. Oh, man, he did go for a Ethereal Blade, but the BKB completely counters him. Danny thought he had that all set up, but it was not good. Black completely countered his item build with his BKB, so not looking good for Gyro right now. He's going to go invis and running away. Very smart choice. Great counter against Faces Void, but wow, we even have a Vost on the high ground, and now he is 100% dead. Black, look at these bashes. So many bashes here. He just can't attack the guy. And Navi is losing, surprisingly. Mao's winning 23-17 now. Gold graph is still flat. So Navi's advantage in terms of gold is still there, but perfect initiation. They catch Puppy. No black hole from him. On the bright side, they're still going to have it for the next team fight. Whereas Black's Chronosphere is down for 50 seconds. That BKB completely paying off. That team fight would have gone completely different if he didn't have that. Ethereal Blade would have stopped Black's attacks immediately. Tier 3 tower taking some damage, starting the missile off. He can't always call down this. There's the first Ice Path. Will they go on Black is the question. There it is. Ethereal Blade on PS. He's going to take big damage. 462 from that one. That's a pretty cool nuke. It's like half of his HP here. And a little bit of flat cannon damage also being done. Looking to catch somebody. He grabs Light of Heaven, but Light of Heaven's invis. There's a nice path. Puppy launches the black hole. He's looking for it. Doesn't have a good opportunity. They spread out pretty heavily. This is what we always see. As soon as you see the BKB on an Enigma, he's just going to run. Needs another Malphus. 3 seconds on that one. Will he throw the stun? 3 seconds on him. He's going to get the Malphus first. There's Malphus. Really bad for Kuroki. He's almost guaranteed to die here. Little right clicking, and that is going to be it. Yep. Gyro gets the last hit. PS running for his life. The missile is chasing. So nice fight back from them. They used to BKB charge Enigma, but they still have Black Hole. So just got to wait for cooldown on that one. Missile has done the damage, and he's stunned. Safe in his base, though. No problem. So we'll see where Faces Void goes next. Looks like he's buying something. It is going to be a Butterfly. Most likely. Eagle Song, the first purchase. This will give him 25 agility. So good attack speed, good damage, and he will build this into a Butterfly, which is going to make him extremely hard to kill. One of the 2 green swords. This is arguably one of the best items in the game, I think. It does have some very limited uses, usually on agility heroes. Alright, always on agility heroes. Gives you 60 damage, 60 attack speed, and 35% evasion. So he's going to be very survivable against Lifestealer. He's going to be very survivable, maybe not against Gyro, but Gyro if Gyro's single targeting him. So the evasion can be very useful. Mostly it's all about the attack speed. If you get that much attack speed and a mediocre amount of damage, it's a good amount of damage. It's not as good as some things like Daedalus or Monkey King Bar for damage output, but the attack speed is very good, as is the agility. So he's going to do a lot of damage. He's going to attack really fast, and that's going to give him more chances to proc time lock. So that's what he's aiming to do. Butterfly, which will give him a lot of survivability and a lot of damage. So Black is definitely on the train to carry this game to victory. I'm sure Puppy wishes that he had a Blink Dagger, but I think that his Black King Bar was the correct choice, since they have a lot of meager disables. Other than the Chronosphere, which has been a problem, I think their hero picks have been were pretty decent here. Havos looking to make an AC next. Hyperstone picked up. Plate Mail needs 1,300 gold to finish this out. This will give him 5 armor to all of his allies and 5 minus armor to the opponents. Though this doesn't stack with Vlad's, still going to be very useful. And Dendy up to 1,800 gold as well. We'll see who he uses this on in teamfights now, because he knows that he can't use it on Faces Void. So, unless it's a small skirmish, he can use it on it, but in most cases, not going to be doable. And they're thinking about going on the Faces Void, but they actually can't see any of the Radiant team right now, so they're assuming this is a bait. The whole team's coming, though. I'm guessing they'll try it. I mean, they could go on him. The Radiant team is kind of out of position right now, but they don't realize that. They're a little scared, and they should be. Then he takes the wave instead. Great attack speed on him, by the way. Seeing a track. Oh, they're going to throw stun. That's just an illusion. They realize now. Black takes a Malefest. There's an open wounds. He's looking to black hole something. He's going in. Will it be on Havos? Does the bashes. But as soon as this BKB runs out, it's going to be really scary for Black. And here comes Dendy in a second. No, he's taking the damage. Vacuum catches 3. Wall on top of that. Even a lightning. They're all already at half HP. They didn't take any damage. Great black hole on 2. 3, I'm sorry. Dendy, look at the AoE damage. The missile's coming through. It's going to stun Black. Buys him a second. He still has the Ethereal Blade, but Puppy's running for his life. And unfortunately, there were so many dead heroes that actually that's going to be them cleaning up. Despite the great black hole from Puppy, Dendy was not able to carry the team fight. The problem was that Dendy was slightly within the Chronosphere range, so he couldn't use the Ethereal Blade, despite the BKB only lasting for about half the Chronosphere. On the bright side for Navi, though, this BKB will eventually run out. And reduce time. It's at 8 seconds still, so he's got a lot of time there. But finishing Butterfly from the side shot, pretty cool. But most importantly, the BKB will drain down, and when that happens, they'll have more time to be able to stop him from attacking. But regardless, it's not looking good for them right now. They've got the lifesteal, he's got attack speed, he's got evasion. From here on out, he gets ridiculously good. He's already pretty much as strong as he's ever going to need to be. This is by far an ideal Void game, and it's only going to get better. A lot of Ghost Scepters on the Radiant team, both on Black. PAS also has one. A Shiva's Guard picked up on Darkseer. That's going to give armor to himself and reduce the damage from the enemy team. And now they're going straight on the Roshan Pit. Navi trying to struggle to figure out what to do here. And mouz is looking really good. Their early ganks position them in a great spot. There's the Firefly. Arman looking to snag somebody. Oh, does he spot? There's the Ice Path. He's got 3 seconds for a blink. And here comes. There's the Force Staff. Looking to catch somebody. Who's it going to be? There's Vacuum to low ground. Will he Chronosphere? This is a lot of heroes here. PAS really low on HP, actually. Will he die? Black throws down the Chrono. This is a foe's taking a lot of damage in here. Light of Heaven, but here comes the called on, doing some damage to Alex. Arman looks like Dendy's going to clean this one up. Black uses the BKB, though, but in a second, he's got the evasion at least, but here comes the damage. He can use this, but there's the chase. Uses the Rocket Barrage. Great Ice Path, actually. Going to start a missile off, and this looks like Black will get picked off. I think this is going to be Aegis at least. He goes for Light of Heaven. Missile hits, and here's the first death. Can they get him a second time? There's no more mana on Gyrocopter. This is a big loss. Here comes the Ice Path at least. Gonna see a dual breath. Malefice, can Black escape? He's looking for the Time Walk, and he is gonna make it out. They just don't have the mana for it. If Dendy had enough for a missile, he could have started off a missile at the respawn, and maybe they could chase him, but Roshan got killed. That was at the very least, the Radiant team has aged, but 4 dead heroes. Can they push in? Black hole in 40 seconds. This is the opportunity that Navi needs really bad. Almost going high ground to go after him, but the wave is killed immediately, and Navi needs to take a Rex. 6 seconds on the glyph. That's going to buy them most of the time that they need to respawn. And the mid-melee barracks taking the damage, or the mid-tower, sorry, and they're going to back off, actually. They leave the illusions. They don't want to chance it. Gets killed. So, Navi content with that. They win a team fight. They take a tower. Crystallis is picked up. He's going for crit. It's going to be really scary in team fights. His BKB now down to 7 seconds. 7 seconds is what the counter's at. Look at that net worth. Really, really high for Faces Void here. Gyrocopter Lifestealer as well as Bounty Hunter, even Enigma doing quite well. So this is where things look okay for Na'Vi. They still have a gold advantage. The gold advantage is still in Na'Vi's favor. It's slowly working its way up. There is a trend in that curve. And EXP is slightly in their favor, but it's essentially not important anymore. The levels are very, very equal this game. Super close game here, 27 to 23. Black actually looking for a solo kill maybe. It's level 2. It's got plenty of HP. Great abilities. Didn't die in the last team fight, also important. And yeah, Dendi is going for a butterfly himself, so evasion for him. This is actually going to hurt Black quite a bit, actually. When he gets that evasion up, he already bought the talisman, by the way. This gives 25% evasion. So half or a quarter of the attacks, on average, the Face of Void is going to miss. But they're going to find Havos solo here in the back of the base. I mean, that was really unusual. He's going to TP out, though. I think he can make this Chronosphere. No, he gets a bash first hit, and Havos dies. That was the only way they could have stopped the TP was a bash. So big mistake from him. He was trying to finish his AC and completely out of position. I mean, look at the rest. Did you see what Na'Vi was doing? Everybody else was in the base. Everybody else was in the base. Not Havos. Out by himself, gets killed, and now mouz is going to turn this into a push. At the very least, they take a tower. 100% take a tower. Arzard's going to try counter pushing. He's very close to his Hex, about 500 gold away from this one, but top tower gets killed. 45 seconds left for Havos. Going to see some tracks. One Midnight Pulse from Puppey. This does huge damage, actually, to each hero. Look at this, about 80 damage per hero. And Tower gets Glyph. There's a Macro Pyre as well. Going to do some good damage to Black. He does not. Oh, he goes in actually looking for Chronosphere. Catches Dendi as well. Puppey, this is really bad for Dendi. Vacuum. Dendi's dead immediately. Will he buy back? I don't see anything yet. Light of Heaven is down as well. He does not have the money. He picked up a butterfly. Oh, man, that was worst possible scenario. This Rex is gone for sure. Chronosphere stops all evasion, and that is exactly why Black was able to kill him so fast. Sentry Root is placed down. There's the Ice Path, reducing the attack speed. Great play, using Liquid Fire. But they lose the barracks. Pretty big mistake from Na'Vi here. Black actually wants 2. There's another Ice Path. BKB, he's going to Black Hole this. He wants to do as much damage to Black as possible. He needs to delay this Rex. He's got to run away, though, taking some damage, and Black will have to retreat, I believe. Can Arzard survive? Gets 2 hits in. There's the open wounds. Lifestealer wants to get him, but the bashes. Will he be able to? Infest goes in. There's another Malefice. They get him, actually. Mask of Madness was used there, and it really accelerated the damage. Armen's next. Another track, and they're actually going to clean up from this. Only losing 1 Rex and winning a team fight immediately afterwards. Can they get the vision? Where's the stun? Where's the stun? Nothing. They didn't see him. Man, Na'Vi coming back. They lose the fight, and they come back. Dendi spent all of his money on a butterfly, and he died right off the start, and they lost the Rex because of it. Will they push out? They've got 65 seconds on Void. He does have buyback, though. Keep that in mind. Buyback is ready for him. Darkseer's got it. Batrider's got it. Alex has got it as well. So they're looking pretty okay, actually. I think they'll be alright here. AC's finished on Lifestealer, by the way, so plenty of HP for him. Not really sure what he would grab next. Maybe a Basher. I think an Abyssal Blade would be very wise, actually, so they could stun Faces Void regardless of his BKB status. And would also give him the option to fight him, and there's the buyback. He's going to be walking in. Will they retreat is the question. Light of Heaven's still here. There's the Surge. Do they have a gem? I do not see it. That is really dangerous. He could have just been Chronosphered right there. Did he have buyback himself? Lifestealing? No. He actually just used this, so no buyback for him. Mithril Hammer picked up. I don't know if it's going to be a BKB or a Desolator. Either would work, though. Increases damage output by a bit, and the Radiant team's pushing forward. They have track on all of them, so they can see their movements. Puppey, no Black Hole for 76, so now we can't fight for a while.
Double damage.
And Bounty Hunter going to counter push the top lane. Grabs a DD. Swinging at the top lane. He doesn't have a TP scroll. He's probably going to kill this wave and then grab a TP scroll, or just teleport, either way. They might want to fight this, actually. If he's got the double damage up, that's going to give him a lot of damage up at about 150, actually. 150 damage from this. He buys the TPs, and here he goes. TPs to the bot lane. Very smart. I love how he does. This is something very small, but keep in mind that if anybody from Na'Vi dies, they're going to want to TP to this tower. So instead, he TPs to this one, so it takes less time. There's somebody gets grabbed. That's Puppey, actually. There's the Ice Path. Puppey in some trouble. Do we see no Black Hole, actually? He's going to be the focus fire. He gets killed immediately. Face of Void goes in. There's a Chronosphere on Dendi. Dendi's in trouble. He's in Viz, but he's going to go down. Black's looking like he's going to win the team fight. PAS is solo. Light of Heaven's trying to do everything he can. There's the mech to buy him a second as well, but Avo's changing targets, going on PAS once again, but he's too fast. Flame Break's going to push him actually towards him, but he's going on the chase. The rest of the fight, Puppey buys back. He's looking like he's going to go down, and the right click, he pops the BKB, buys him a second, trying to get away. Light of Heaven, not able to do it. Croaky with max end up cleave. He's going to grab Bounty Hunter as well. Bounty Hunter's going to go down to the urn, and Havos, Also gonna die, just maybe. Running away, Dual Breath's gonna buy him a second. They go in, Havost is going down. Black is looking like he's gonna carry this game. Even Arzart, 5 dead from Navi, and I think that is just about the end of the game here. Bot tower taking damage, man. You just can't stop the Chronosphere. The evasion is not enough for them to stop it. mouz looking really good. There's good game from Puppey. They did their best. They almost had options, but Chrono is too good. And that has been the lesson of this game. I mean, it doesn't matter. Think about Black Hole. At the very least, you have to channel that thing. But Chronosphere, man, you just cast it and it's over. As long as you don't catch your allies, you have got the game met. Like, the game is won, pretty much. Every time they just won on those targeted heroes, they won on Enigma, they won on Gyrocopter, and if you killed one of those 2 heroes, it was over. Lifestealer not able to outcarry versus the Faceless Void. The Bastions are there. Void counters Faceless Void. And that is the end of Game 1. We're going to have Game 2 coming up in just a second, guys. This is Navi versus mouz for GosuLeague. If you want to find out more about the teams or the rankings or the standings, go to play.gosugamers.net. And this is a very well-won game from mouz. Going to be very good for him. See, he is now missing, but with Chronosphere up, you have no evasion, and you can't go invis. So every item that Dendy got was completely countered by both Chronosphere as well as the BKB, and that really hurt their mid-game. So Black made a smart choice. Dendy tried to counter him with a Ethereal Blade, and just general better team fights out of mouz. So they take the win. We'll be back in just a second, guys, with Game 2. Don't go anywhere.